All right. Welcome back to What She Says Sports, everybody. This is Shanola Girl checking in. Let's see. My main camera hadn't connected yet. Hold on one second. Okay, hold on one second, guys. Let's see if it connected. No, it did not. Let's make sure that's the right. Because that's not the right connection. All right, too many wires. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, we're back. All right, y'all. So we put together a good show. Let's just get into it because I know y'all want to talk about it. Shout out to each and every one of you that tagged me when the Browns posted a video, which is Shador Digital Bio, going all the way back to Jackson State High School when Coach Prime was an offensive coordinator. I know that's what y'all want to talk about, so we're going to talk about it, okay? So while you're looking at this video, it's going to be, you have to read the captions. I can't play the audio because it has music in the background, so it's likely copyrighted. So what I'm going to do is play it, and I'll let y'all read it. If you've never read it, go watch it. If you want to go watch it, that's fine. Here's what we're going to talk about. Why now? Right? So 3 days ago, I posted a video. Now, y'all probably remember this thumbnail. I'm going to let this video play. Then we're going to go to the thumbnail. I posted a video. We talked about, I said the Browns need to stop pretending that they don't know who Shador Sanders is before chickens come home to roost. Right? I found the chicken sound, by the way. I found the chicken sound, and I'm probably gonna play it too because it's warranted, right? I actually feel really proud. I feel really proud of myself. I'm proud of the community that shows up every day that keeps the conversation alive, right? And just it wasn't even 3 days ago. I went back to check to see what it was we were talking about 3 days ago, what it was Shador said on Shiloh's podcast, right? And what other former NFL players that we shared that they were saying, and you put it all together, right? And people are talking, right? People are basically talking. I went to a few other NFL teams' pages to see if they did any digital bios such as this, and they did not, right? They did not. So the Browns seemingly putting together some finally acknowledge something that finally acknowledges that they know who Shador is, right? Shador was drafted last draft, period, and went to the Browns at 144, but then suddenly, all of a sudden, they want to tell us about it. They want to tell us about it, right? And I'm like, okay, so is Shador the $600 million man because the Browns have a $600 million shortfall? And I'm going to shake my head no to that, and I'm going to tell you why. And, or is it legal liability? Legal exposure. That's what it is. That's why now people look at this and we're instantly thinking, oh, he's going to be QB1. Okay. I mean, he might. He actually might, but they didn't give him a stellar O-line. Now, y'all know, I hope that the O-line they did put together go out there and do what? Go out there and prove, despite what they're probably going to be asked to do, which is what the O-line did last year, set him up, that they go out there as men and protect their quarterback, whether it's Shador or Deshaun. Now, I try to tell people, okay, let's see if they put out one of these bios about Deshaun, right? So some people think this means that Shador is going to be QB1. I want y'all to understand something. It's not hard to commit to Shador as QB1 and just say it out loud. To be dropping hints, they're not dropping hints. They're not dropping hints, right? People been talking mightily about the Browns. Former NFL players who have the inside scoop. Y'all saw that survey right? That's legal liability for the Browns. If I said Stefanski was a legal liability, and the Browns allowed Stefanski to abuse Shador, who was a legal liability, what do you think the Browns are? A legal liability. Why? Because they allowed everything that happened to Shador, and chances are they might have done more than allowed it. There's a reason why Kevin Stefanski makes $15 million up from $3 million, 3.5 to $15 million a year, and he failed. And the survey proved he failed. And former players are coming out saying that he relinquished play calling duties under AVP, and then we know he relinquished play calling duties twice after that, which is 3 times. And it makes people ask the question, how the hell did he get 2 Coach of the Year awards and Mike Tomlin didn't get any in 18 years of never having a losing season? And then what does it say that Stefanski failed, got fired, and all of a sudden makes about the same amount of money per year that it took Mike Tomlin 18 years to get? It looks like Mike Tomlin had $1 million raise a year. Not saying that that's what it was, but when he left, he made, after 18 years, his salary was $18 million a year. Stefanski's is $15 million a year. That's a $3 million difference. And Stefanski won 2 of the 6 seasons. Legal liability. Because I asked the question, what is the owner talking about? When they were talking about Stefanski going to be pushed out, and he's like, no, Stefanski did good work for us. And I asked the question, where? Off the field? Because clearly it wasn't pertaining to football. Stefanski is a legal liability, and I said whatever team hires him will also be a legal liability, and that is the Atlanta Falcons. And people are pointing out every day over there how problematic it is. And it's going to get worse because he's not a coach. That's probably why he took Tommy Rees with him, because had he stayed in Cleveland, he probably would have fired Tommy Rees, because he fired AVP, who I heard might be working for him in Atlanta. He fired the guy, I forgot his name, whatever he is, he's somewhere else too, but he fired another OC, and then he took Tommy Rees with him. He turned over play calling duties 3 times. 3 times. And he was allowed all season long to do what? To abuse Shador. And I said, what did I just say yesterday? I said the shit is still happening and Stefanski's gone. I said, well, damn, what does it say if the sabotage is still happening and Stefanski's gone? It says that the culprit is still over there. And then we talked about what? We talked about the robbery. We talked about the breadcrumbs on the getaway driver's page. We talked about who had motive, who had opportunity, who had the resources in the modus operandi. We talked about that. And then Shador something yesterday. So 3 days ago, I talked about the Browns need to stop pretending that they don't know who Shador Sanders is before chickens come home to roost. Right? That was 3 days ago. What else did I share last week? I shared content where NFL players were talking about Shador and the robbery itself.
Head coach creating more drama. You only got shit. 2 quarterbacks. All you had to do was say yes. Shador is the backup.
He's going out of his way to create something, and then at the same time, like when we're protecting, when he was the 3rd-string quarterback, don't have him available to speak to the media.
I was trying to be even keel with it, but yo, they really do not like this cat, man.
They don't like him, and they just got rid of my good man Greg Newsome too.
That's that shit you was talking about in Cleveland. How they don't know what the hell they're doing. Period.
Cleveland.
They obviously don't know what they're doing. Like from this, it's just all bad moves. It's bad business.
I'm looking at you as a head coach. It's like this is the.
So that's talking about Cleveland, right? That's talking about Cleveland, right? Who hired Stefanski? Well, apparently Andrew Berry worked there first. Andrew Berry said nobody else wanted to hire him, right? So that's on who? That's on Cleveland. That's on Cleveland. These same guys talked about what? That they inside job knocked my guy's house in, took off his confidence. That's huge. I told you it was huge when it happened. That's huge. And then you got this guy right here.
You talk about instilling confidence into your players. How you think that makes Shador feel? I don't know who the backup is. Yeah. You got to be kidding me. You really gonna bring up Bailey Zappi from the practice squad and make him the backup over me? And I've been on the active roster. Players in the locker room that like Shedeur off of that comment, they don't mess with Kevin Stefanski. They don't because you are really trying to lower this man's confidence. You don't treat people like they can't. If they can't play, get them off the team.
Yeah.
And what did Jarvis Landry say yesterday? He revealed that Stefanski had turned over play calling duties before. This was the third time. So it went from 2 to 3. I got 2 words for you. Legal liability. And then let's throw this into the mix. It's not a video. It's just a reminder. If you was on Shiloh's podcast yesterday, we were talking about it last night on the live stream. We said what? Shedeur didn't look like his normal self, that his light was dim. We talked about how Shedeur was talking about the back doors, how you got to watch for the back doors, and how he's paranoid now, right? And yeah, that's enough right there, right? It's the back door talk. Understand that. He know exactly what the hell he was saying. And just like they did when Shedeur was at the Pro Bowl, they listening to what he's saying. See, they listening to see what he's saying. They listen to see what everybody is saying. That's not football related. That relates to the robbery. That relates to the back doors of the robbery. This is the person that was robbed. Then you got these guys over here talking about the robbery, right? These guys talked about how they did it to throw off his confidence. Then you got this guy right here talking about they try to throw off his confidence with the dumb moves that they were making. You got this guy right here. You got me. Baby, that's what this is. That's all this is. This is exactly what I said it was. Chickens coming home to roost. I just said this 3 days ago. 3 days ago, Shedeur just told us about the back doors and how he's paranoid. You got to watch the back doors last night. So before 2 o'clock today, before 2 p.m. today, the only team to put up a bio about a quarterback is the Browns. The same Browns whose media was saying they're not counting on Shedeur. So they had already counted Shedeur out, right? He might get traded to Minnesota. That's one of the narratives going around. And I told y'all weeks ago, Shedeur might get traded. And at the time, the Browns don't even know. And look at where we have landed from when I said that weeks ago. We been knew who Shedeur was. I said it. The Browns need to stop pretending that they don't know who Shedeur Sanders is before chickens come home to roost. Well, baby, them chickens is on their way. You got former NFL players talking. I told y'all it's going to be a leaked email soon enough. Soon enough. We already had a leaked survey. It's about to be a leaked email soon enough. So you can ask yourself, why now? Because he's a $600 million man and they got a $600 million shortfall? Nope. Legal liability. Just like I told you it was for Stefanski. Who recalls me saying Stefanski has made himself a legal liability? Where is he? Not in Cleveland. They had to fire him. They didn't want to fire him. And what did I tell y'all about corporations that have people high up that mess up, that the people themselves become a liability? The corporation has to, no matter who the person is, distance themselves from that person, or they too will instantly become a legal liability. I told y'all it wasn't a coincidence that Stefanski got fired 7 days after the third perpetrator was caught. I also told you it wasn't a coincidence somebody was hiding in the bushes watching it happen because they had advance notice. Legal liability. Because there's nothing that this young man has done in the offseason to make them believe in him, because they do not. And I want you to know, this don't even mean they believe in him. For whatever reason, maybe they suddenly feel like they need to prove that they know who Shedeur is, because they have been acting like they didn't know. So now they're saying, we know who he is. Good. Let's see if they trade him. Because clearly there's some pressure somewhere. And it ain't $600 million, because they can get that. They got that if they want it. They can get that from sponsors if they want it. Let's see if they put up one about Deshaun. Why they didn't go with him first? So I have warned y'all about Cleveland before. Y'all need to look for consistency. What did Coach Prime tell us? Consistency is key. Consistency. This is not consistency. This is what the hell is going on. So you need to wait and see what happens next. And then you need to wait and see what happens next. And then you need to wait and see what happens in camp. Then you need to wait and see what happens in the preseason. Then you need to sit back, wait and see what happens in the regular season. And then you need to sit back and wait and see what happens by the time we on game 17. Because you cannot afford to trust these people. You might want to. I have said it before. God will take a bad thing and turn it into good. And I have said it before. The Browns thought that they were going to contain Shedeur. The longer Shedeur in the Cleveland, they're going to get exposed, and they know it. I don't think it's a coincidence that we were just talking about the fact that they need to stop acting like they don't know who Shedeur is before these chickens come home to roost. And then you got all these former NFL players talking, speaking out in the same damn week. I went back and looked at my videos 3 days ago. The robbery, the chickens coming home to roost, the robbery, you better stop acting like you don't know who he is. And then the NFL players speaking out, the former players, and they're not going to stop, nor should they. Shedeur needs this. There's another group out there speaking out about him, and they play basketball. This is what chickens coming home to roost look like. This the shit they can't stop. Because if you could stop a chicken from roosting, you let me know. I'm sure there's a lot of people who live out in rural areas who wish they could stop that rooster from crowing at 5 a.m. every single day, but they cannot. So before you get too excited, hang back for a second. See if they post about Shedeur. It don't mean shit because it ain't hard to say our QB1. Franchises don't drop hits. I was on the Saints page. One of their first posts is about Tyler Shaw being the local rookie of the year, which means he's their guy. The Tennessee Titans, even though they didn't replace Cam's O-line or get him a better one, they act like he's going to be their franchise. They at least pretending to be. See, the Browns were pretending not to know who Shedeur is. All the other teams are acting like they know who their QB1 is. Kyler Murray got up there to Minnesota. I have not heard the word competition once. Geno Smith is sitting at QB1 after being tossed out of Vegas. He's sitting at QB1 in Vegas. I mean, in the New York Jets. Nobody doubts who it is. Nobody questions who it is. QB1 in New York. Teams don't come out every year and announce a new QB1. They didn't put this is our QB1 in the post. They haven't embraced him. They're covering their own ass. And if you don't see it, cut your grass. Because you got some snakes and you don't even know it. And they so close to you, they're going to bite your nose off. So, yay. Yay. Did he repost it? That's good if he did, because maybe he's starting to feel some type of love. Because it was night and day between yesterday and today. But this ought to tell him what it's telling me. They hanging on his every goddamn word, and they watching people's podcasts. Yep. They know who just repeating what people say, and they know who's holding them accountable. Not a coincidence. Not a coincidence at all. They know which of these players are out here speaking up. See, they thought if they silenced Shady McCoy, that was going to be the end of it. Well, here come the barrage of people after Shady McCoy lost his voice. And they going in on Acho too. Several people going in on Acho. So when I say chickens coming home to roost, this is some shit they can't stop at all. They've been over there trying to aggressively control these players, coerce these players, intimidate these players away from Shedeur. And now you got people external to the NFL who were insiders and fans like myself holding them accountable. They can't stop that. They cannot stop that. But they thought they could silence it, which is why they went after Shady McCoy and thought, well, let's invite him into the fold. Well, the rest of these guys clearly ain't worried about that because they got their own shit. And the guys in the basketball world definitely don't give a damn about it. So like I said, chickens is coming home to roost. You can trust the Browns if you want to. But it's a whole lot of consistency that needs to happen first. First of all, they need to be consistent with showing him respect and embrace him as the franchise QB he is. But we know they're not going to do that, because what were they talking about yesterday? Changing the rules so they can get Arch Manning somehow sooner, sometime before, for sure, next year. We already know that. So you want to try to change the rules, and people come out and say they fear they changing the rules to try to get Arch Manning so they can rig it toward their way. And now you want to talk about Shedeur. Like I said, legal liability. Because it's a whole lot being discussed about the Browns. And Stefanski is in Atlanta. It's what the Browns ownership allowed Stefanski to do, or did they encourage him to do it? Which is why he got $15 million, because the owner said, and I quote, "Oh, I'm enthusiastic that Stefanski will get another job as a head coach in NFL." 2 weeks later, here it is. How was he even desirable as a coach? Seemingly, his 2-time Coach of the Year awards were rigged. Funny, he said one is somewhere in storage, and he has only one he could see. He don't even value them. One was with his daughter somewhere. He don't even want to look at them because he know they're not true. But they didn't tell you he gave up play calling 3 times. They didn't tell you that Deshaun was doing well before Stefanski came along. Under AVP, Deshaun was doing well. But when Deshaun got sacked 33 times in 7 games, Stefanski took off his headset the very game he got injured. And then the other guy, Ken Dorsey, that was his name, was calling plays. And that's who they fired, Ken Dorsey, not Stefanski. That's on the owner. Legal liability. It's a narrative going around saying that Monken might not be there by the time the stadium opened. That's shocking, considering Monken successfully recruited the Manning kid, Arch Manning, to Georgia before Monken left for Baltimore. So why wouldn't he be over there? Because he ain't with that bullshit. He not going to be going on the record out here coercing, intimidating, and ruining his family reputation and his good name. He like, look, I ain't have to do all that with Lamar. I'm not going to be, I told y'all I'm not going to be Stefanski. See, Schwartz was upset that he didn't get the job, but rejection is protection. Because they clearly have expectations that are beyond keeping Shedeur on the bench. How you going to do that? You just said he was damn good. You just pointed out that he got dog DNA. I would expect there'll be more dog DNA viral posts coming up in the next couple of days. We just talked about his DNA and how they don't want not just his DNA, Shiloh's or Jerry Rice's son, or any of the other kids who were pushed out this year. We talked about that. I also shared in the comments when somebody said, yeah, Shedeur seems to be having to take one for the team. I'm like, well, actually, they have the biggest light on them. So they're being made an example of to the Black people. We don't want your DNA. It's not just Coach Prime. He's just the one with the biggest spotlight. Because if you did it to Jerry Rice's son, you probably wouldn't know about it. Because they did it and you don't know about it. Cleveland brought him in to work out also after he was dejected in the draft. And Cleveland didn't need another wide receiver, but Cleveland needed another wide receiver. You see where I'm going with this? Cleveland also interviewed Russell Wilson. They didn't need a quarterback, but they ended up with Kenny Pickett, Flacco, and Dillon. And then they pushed out Tyler Huntley for Bailey Zapp. Pushed out Tyler Huntley twice. Yet he goes to Baltimore where he's valued. Legal liability. The owner. Because Stefanski, like he said, he was optimistic would get another job, has moved on with a pay raise 5 times his previous salary. And for what? Let's see how long it takes from Atlanta Falcons players start talking out again. Legal liability. They knew he had dog DNA. They addressed the draft as things didn't go the way he thought. But they never addressed how they went in Cleveland, as if they had to stand by what happened in the draft. Are they solely responsible for what happened in the draft? Probably. Legal liability. Let's see who's next to get a spotlight on dog DNA. Let me see what y'all are saying. Because, baby, when I tell you that's what it is, that's what it is. All right, I'm headed to the comments because I know y'all want to share. So let's get into it. It said, remember, take advantage of a second chance to make a first impression. I know that's right. Please like, hype, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Remind. Hey, everybody. Hey, fam. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? It said they didn't mention his Johnny United's Golden Arm Award. Oh, they didn't? I think they missed something else, too. They said he won one championship in high school when Coach Prime was the offensive coordinator. I thought they won 3. But maybe Coach Prime wasn't the OC the whole time. Trust me, I didn't hang on to the every word. If y'all haven't figured out, the media team and the team on 2 different pages. That was last year, and it's happening again this year. It said they put this up the morning after your video. No, they put, oh, okay. I saw this today. I went back. The video on the robbery was 3 days ago. The video on the guys from Debo and Joe 3 days ago. All of this was 3 days ago. And then Shador comment about the backdoor was that yesterday, right? Weren't they live? Was it yesterday we talked about the live stream? Because it was the day before. So that's 2 days ago. So all of this barrage of activity and accountability, calling out, speaking the truth is happening within a very short window of time. And then here comes this post. Understand, they have social media team. They got people over there watching these podcasts. We have talked about this, right? I don't think their job is just to sit there and just put out content, because in order to do that, you need to see what content is out there already. You need to see what's going on. So, yeah, interesting. It said they also did mention the 2022 HBCU Player of the Year. So, yeah, they was just going through some information. Hey, Tamika, how you doing? It said, I watched the Cleveland Brown Instagram post on Shador today from high school to now with his dad in it. Yep. It said on Deion Sanders Sr. show on Tubi, we got time today. He mentioned things on it regarding Shador. Yeah. And I said yesterday, he needs to just go and spill the beans. Just go. I mean, it's perfect time, right? Perfect time, because people are telling the truth. No point in you sitting back and being silent, because clearly the truth matters. See, that's what people don't understand. This shit could have been solved, not with Shador, but with the way these black men are being treated in the NFL long time ago. But nobody will talk on. Nobody will speak up about it. The only people that do, you never hear about. But what about all the surrounding people who knew what it was like? That's who should have been speaking up, because that's who's speaking up now. That's who's speaking up now. The survey kicked it off, and somebody had to leak that. And even without, and it's funny, without the survey, I don't know, maybe people might think, oh, they disgruntled or whatever. But it was a big deal to put that out there. And it showed that they didn't fool with the coach like that. And the owner can act like he tone deaf if he want to, but he not. When Richie Incognito was harassing Jonathan Martin, the truth came out that the higher-ups wanted him to do that. That it wasn't his idea. So when we saw the Dirt Divers, when we saw 68 and 72 failing, when we saw Jerry Jeudy failing, you could think it's the same thing as Richie Incognito. The higher-ups wanted him to do it because that's the pattern. When you look at the pattern with the bounty gate, that wasn't on the players. That was on people higher than the players. The players get used to sabotage, derail their own. This is not new. It's just the first time you probably heard of it with the Browns. Let me be clear. I've watched enough former NFL players talk. The Browns have always had talent. What they've never had is a desire to win, because they seemingly function as the team, the incinerator. Why? Because they've always known the Browns fans to be loyal regardless. And that's what they were expecting with Shador, but the tables flipped. 20 million people and counting. And whatever they thought they was going to do to get through this season, they might need to rethink it. Like I said weeks ago, they may have already had a conversation. I think we're going to have to trade him, because we got a new stadium opening. Minnesota doesn't. Let's see what happens. Is he probably going to be with another black quarterback? Yes. I talked about that yesterday. You might as well get ready for that. Unless it's Baker Mayfield because they want him to go. Really, it's Baker Mayfield's time to discuss a new contract. If they wanted him to go, you would know. All of this barrage of activity just happening, and Shador was talking about you got to watch the back doors, and he was paranoid, and we knew what he was saying, and he wasn't speaking in code. And not 8 hours later or 12 hours later, it definitely was 24 hours. Here we go. Here we go. And I said they need to stop acting like, I said it, you need to stop acting, they need to stop acting like they don't know who the hell Shador Sanders is before the chickens come home to roost and all these dudes speaking out and the chickens is roosted and they're like, let me put this shit out there. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Legal liability, just like Stefanski. Let's see what happened to the Browns because Stefanski got fired. Can the Browns owner be fired? No. But he can be replaced. Not saying that's what's going to happen, but I'm saying there will be some consequences. It said they are full of it. They know who he is, right? They are so damn fake. That's what people need to understand. That's what people need to understand. They are definitely watching the videos. I think so too. I think so too. And I think YouTube will slow me down. But guess what? So what? I don't give a damn. Because you know what I said? It's more important to be impactful than it is to have likes and clicks. And I ain't saying shit. So, and I'm not going to sit up here and repeat what the hell the media said because screw them over anyway, right? So this makes me feel accomplished because I'm not stupid. I know, what did I say when we talked about the robbery? What did I say? I want to see who watching this video. That was not 3 days ago. I said, yeah, I want to see who watching this video. Who did I implicate? Who did I suggest that the police need to look into? Don't be surprised that shit happened. I keep saying things are changing. Things are changing. Hell, the Atlanta airport about to be run by ICE. Just in case y'all didn't hear it, on Monday, instead of the federal government paying the TSA workers, ICE is replacing the TSA workers. I was like, well, damn it. They've been trying to take over the Atlanta airport for 2 decades now. This is one way to do it. That was the plan. That was always the plan. Like what I said about the Falcons. They know goddamn well Brady Stefanski that was going to stir up some controversy. Fans weren't going to want to show up, and they was going to want to use as fans not showing up as, well, let's just move to Cobb County. Look for it, because they want to get a star too. They do not own Mercedes-Benz. They looking at Jerry Jones. They done watched his, I guess, team valuation or his income go from $7 billion to 14 since 2016 when the Star opened. That's why they have one coming to Cleveland, because they've been over there as the team, as the league incinerator. So since they gave Deshaun Watson his contract and took Shador, seemingly they get a new stadium. But that was already planned before Shador. But I'm going to go with Deshaun for sure. Quid pro quo. I'm going to go with Deshaun for sure. They clearly function as the league incinerator. Odell Beckham Jr. was playing in that Fanatics tournament where they had the flag football, and everybody was like, ooh, he need to come back to the Giants. I'm like, ooh, can you start your own damn league? I'm going to have to give up on that because they're not going to do it. They just not going to do it. Hey, I keep saying it under their comments. I just put one line. Or you can start your own league. Robert Griffin III. Oh, it looks like Odell Beckham Jr., who, by the way, career died in Cleveland, could go back to the Giants. I'm like, or y'all can start your own league. I know this overtime, who normally have OT7, women's basketball, men's basketball. Now it says OT, overtime football. They just slide right on in the home plate. I'm like, fellas, y'all just gonna sit up here and let other people start a league in your face. And y'all not even part of the league no more. And they're gonna pay you. I guess everybody just don't have ambition. So mind me, because clearly I do. So Odell Beckham Jr. was said himself, he was sent to Cleveland for his career to die. League incinerator. But we ain't made it to the league yet. But we get down close to that torch burning the owner's ass. Shout out to the former NFL players willing to speak up after they try to silence Shady McCoy, because that's exactly what that was. It said, I'm glad they're posting him, but they definitely doing the same type of damage control. Absolutely. That's all it is. Just remember the damage control they did when Stefanski started saying Shadour's name, and it was after the robbery, by the way. After the robbery, by the way, notice Stefanski could talk positively about Shaddour. Matter of fact, you could go back to all those videos that they probably gonna run over there and snatch down. And look at the difference in Stefanski. Look at how nasty he was when Shaddour came on board. First, he was nice, and then he just went straight evil. And at some point, I remember him saying after the robbery, Shaddour's ready now, or something like that. It's a video. It's out there. And then after that, he just kind of was speaking the part, right? So I'm sure it's the people that's gonna look it up. I might look it up if I feel like it, but I don't need it. I don't need it because they had the motive, the opportunity. They had the modus operandi. That's how they operate. See, they telling on themselves. They don't even know, right? I don't even know these guys, right? And they all just coming out here together at the same time. And maybe they notice that they try to silence Shady McCoy. I don't know. The point is, they don't give a damn, and they're willing to speak the truth. And that's who I'm talking about. And now it's hopping over to basketball, and they talking about it. Mm-hmm. That makes me so happy that guys who feel like, they have jobs in the media, they own podcasts or whatever, they're not afraid to speak out. This shit could have been solved, but it was so many people enabling what happened with Shaddour because they rather use his name in their videos for likes and clicks and repeat shit rather than hold these people accountable. And when we saw Shaddour on the podcast, we talked about how it looked like his light was dim. And then look what happens now, 24 hours later. It took him to speak up. It took somebody with a podcast to speak up. That wasn't the usual suspect, right? Then you got the guy speaking up. All of that together in a very short amount of time is what it is. See, they know they're guilty. They know they're wrong, but they don't think nobody gonna hold them accountable. This is why they sent Shaddour to Cleveland in the first place. This is why Cleveland was pegged to get him. Because they thought they could get away with it. Why? Because they did it to Deshaun Kaiser. And I said it. Oh, you're not going to be able to do what you did to Deshaun Kaiser to Shaddour because Shaddour got too many goddamn fans. At the time, it was like 20 million strong and counting. So now they're talking about, Shaddour switching to the 2. I'm cool with it. He needs to be legendary anyway. Who was the post sponsored by? A hospital, right? In Cleveland, right? So seeming like the hospital paid for it. I don't know if they went to the hospital say, hey, I want to use Shaddour in an ad. Can y'all put it together? I don't know how these things come about, but it was a partnership in terms of it had a sponsor attached to it. So Shaddour seemed to be the first. Let's see if he's the last. Complexion for the protection. Yup. It said, I believe everything is coming full circle. Yup. It said, Mary Kay has even changed her narrative, making videos saying Shaddour Sanders has the it factor for college. Ravens game, Tennessee, he was taken out. Yup. And let me tell you what you need to look for, right? You need to look for what's happening with Michael Penix Jr. As somebody who knew what was going on with the Falcons last year, one of the things these people don't take kindly to is when the fans force them into a particular position. One of the reasons they wanted to keep Shaddour off the field was because at some point they realized that, okay, the fans like him. See, remember, it was Dylan, and they was talking up Dylan big time. They knew what Dylan was and what he was not. But they had people who clearly have disappeared talking Dylan up. That was supposed to keep Shaddour in the background and the fans to say the fans don't want to see Shaddour. The Browns, if you pay attention to the Browns know exactly what happened to Atlanta. This is the same thing that was happening with Michael Penix Jr. Michael Penix Jr. was drafted. He's supposed to be the starter, just like Shaddour was better than Dylan, but they wanted to go with Kirk Cousins, so the Browns went with Dylan. It's the same thing except for the Browns are a year behind the Falcons. And what happened? It was trash. So Dylan was trash. They put in Shaddour and they try to make it seem like he only gets the opportunity because of an injury. How did Tom Brady get his job? Injury. Jalen Hurts, injury. So that's what they do. Injury. It has to be injury, because how can I let a 5th round pick or a middle 2nd round pick just all of a sudden be the starter? So in Cleveland, they tried to say it was injury, right? The 2nd year in Atlanta, what happened? Fans was disgusted. They weren't going to buy no season tickets. After the end of the 1st year, they quickly came out and said, the GM put out a post that said Michael Penix Jr. will be the starter. I said, I know that's right, because they're not going to buy those season tickets. So timing is very important on where they do these things. Right? I already told y'all there's one longtime fan posted on the survey that they posted publicly. They done. After 26 years. Finished for Brown season tickets, they not doing it no more. I said, what you mean you finished? I forgot you can finance these tickets. So I guess they finished paying for their tickets and they moving on. It's probably a lot of that happening behind the scenes. We do need $600 million, and I don't need to be hemorrhaging fans. And clearly the fans do like Shedeur, even though we thought they didn't. Turns out it's 20 million of them, and they do. Remember Big Boy did a concert that I still have never seen? And I was like, they don't have no rappers up there in Cleveland. Not that I didn't want him to get his shine. I just thought that was a little strange. Remember all the black people at the tailgate? They stayed home too. And they were visible. They had these private VIP tailgates indoors, but you didn't know nothing about that. And they even had a young black female influencer going to those, and it was sparse. So what happens when all of the black and brown bodies outside stop showing up? We matter. Cleveland is 42, 50, it's probably 52% black. They just be lying. Why you think they want to move? Because if the fan base is largely black, the team not going to have the control to do what they want to do to any black players. They will be held accountable by black fans and non-black fans who are decent. Let me just say it like that, because a lot of white people stayed away too. They were not expecting that. So in Atlanta, the fans were like, if Michael Penix Jr. ain't the starter, we ain't coming back. So Michael Penix Jr. became the starter, and then what happened? They talked him up. He's QB1. He's our guy. I watched them set him up. I also watched him in a wheelchair with a double ACL. That's what Shedeur needs to look out for. And then maybe it won't be a coincidence that the University Hospital sponsored that post from today. That's why I intentionally looked to see who the sponsor was. They don't like when they have to make a decision based on what the fans want. That's what happened in Atlanta. And Atlanta felt like, okay, we're going to show you. We made him the starter like y'all wanted to. He got injured. Oops, nothing we can do about that. Bullshit. You better look for that with Shedeur to move him out the way so he don't play 10 or 11 games. Because if he hit 10 or 11 games, win or lose, he the starter. Clearly, they don't want that. Why? Because we want to get somebody else next year. And how you going to go and get Arch Manning when Shedeur just took y'all to the playoffs? That's going to be the fans again telling the team what to do, which is exactly what happened in Atlanta. And they felt like they solved it with Michael Penix Jr. in a goddamn wheelchair. So when Stefanski got over there, he thought, oh, I ain't going to have to abuse Michael Penix Jr. because he injured. Michael Penix Jr. came out and said, oh, I'm healing much faster than I thought. I'll be back. Stefanski was asked about Michael Penix Jr. starting. He said it's too early to be giving out jobs. Mind you, this is 24 hours after the GM said we're going to release Kirk Cousins out of respect for Michael Penix Jr. So Stefanski over there bucking his black GM like he did over here undermine Andrew Berry. Same thing. Same black city. Same, well, except for the fan base was white in Cleveland, but you got a black fan base in a black city this time with a black GM. That's a trifecta right there. What is it? Win cash a show or win play a show, whatever the hell it is in horse racing. That's all three. You got all three. See, in Cleveland, he had a white fan base largely. You ain't got that in Atlanta. And you got a black GM again. I'm pretty sure he wasn't expecting that. So he need to be asking, is he going to see the end of his goddamn contract? Because I'm not convinced they didn't send him there to be set up so they could push him out. Thank you for your service. I'm not convinced. Long as Michael Penix Jr. is good and they don't re-injure him, they brought in Tua, and they got Tua quick, so they never even had to consider Kyler Murray. I've asked Falcons fans, do the Falcons have a problem with black quarterbacks? They're like, yep. They've only had Michael Penix Jr. and Michael Vick. And you see how that's going. It's a fight to the death. Despite what the fans want. They seemingly keep trying to circumvent what the fans want to move Michael Penix Jr. out the way. This time it's supposed to be Tua. So then back over here to Cleveland. Wanting to talk up Shador all of a sudden. Yeah, you a legal liability. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it start the way it finished, where they try to get him injured. See, they gave you a little taste of what they're capable of with getting him injured. They do not want him to play more than 10 or 11 games because they already know, and they're trying to change the rules so they can get their great white hope next year. I like Arch Manning, but he probably know he being used by now to do some other people's bidding. And none of this has any goddamn thing to do with Coach Prime. They said, remember who owner is. Facts. And I told y'all, he might be the one. They talked about Monkey ain't going to see the new stadium. I'm like, hell, I ain't convinced the owner going to see it either. So I'm not. You letting keep coming out. I'm like, don't forget, there's 3 people sitting in jail that at some point they're going to have to move forward on that case. I know they can stall for 3 years, but hey, 3 years from now, it'll be 2029. Let's see what happens. And the longer they sit there, you ain't no telling. They gonna somebody might decide to send some private detectives over there to talk to those guys and ask, how did you get here? We're gonna see. They saying they career criminals. Okay. Well, if they career criminals and they didn't commit this crime, we're gonna see what happens. I would imagine if they was career criminals, you know who the hell hired them, right? It said that's facts. The HC was creating stuff, right? The head coach, Stefanski. Shout out to Debo and Joe, right? Because they didn't have to say a damn thing. They didn't have to say anything. It said Mary Kay must have been told to change her narrative. She spoke facts on his accuracy, calling it a it factor. Yeah. And here's the thing, right? When he was drafted, I remember Mary Kay looking perplexed, like she was shocked. Because she was like, remember, they took her down there, unless she hitched a ride on Delta. She flew on a private jet with them. And she was doing interviews. I shared the video previously, right? Saying she was at CU's pro day, which are they having a pro day this year? Because I don't know. That the Browns have a tough decision on whether to get Shador or get Shador and Travis. You was never getting Shador in the 5th round if you were considering Shador or Shador and Travis. And they could have had both. They didn't want neither because they don't want to win. They don't want to win. That's just what it is. And as fans are starting to realize that, long-term Browns are starting to realize that. And you'll hear them say things like, we thought things would be different with Haslam, but it's not. Because if the team itself functions as an incinerator where people's careers go to die, then that's not going to ever change until another team becomes the incinerator. Why do you need a trash can for players? Because when we want people, when we want to push them out, that's what we do. Look at what they did to Max Crosby. That was ugly. I don't know how many more times you can do that and get away with it. If another team do it, they're going to know it's a pattern and that's going to fall on the league. If the Ravens do it again, they're going to know it's unethical business practices and they're corrupt and it's going to blow it up from the inside out. What type of issue is this? I know that's right. It says, it seems like Kevin uses others for the play calling, so it don't show how awful he is. That's what Jarvis Landry was saying, and show that he didn't deserve to be a head coach anywhere. I agree. That's what Jarvis Landry was saying. They were like the AVP guy was better, and they wondered if Stefanski was forced to fire AVP. I don't know who fired him because, that's before our time. But the fact that these guys are shedding light on what it was like with Stefanski before we came along, it matters because, again, modus operandi. So for your 6 years, you have turned over play calling for 3 when things are bad, so you don't get booted out. You don't get booted out. And that's why he never thought he was going to be fired this year. I just want to know why they feel like they had to go give him a job and give him 5 times his salary. And when the owner said he's done good work for us and he's only won 2 of the 6 seasons, what is exactly are you talking about? And that's where the police need to start asking questions over there. They need to send some plainclothes people over there and hang out so they can understand what the hell is going on over here. Because it's criminal. And they shouldn't be getting away with crimes because here's the thing. They ain't going to stop. And nobody else needs to be hurt because of them. They clearly don't want a professional football team. It said the Browns on some slick stuff. Right. Come on, chickens. I know that's right. Soon and very soon. This is a big difference between the asset and the liability. Yeah, there's a big difference. It's that they've sick of me to see Shador like he was. Right. And you see they ran to the internet. I told y'all when he said at the Pro Bowl about when you thought you was going to get $40 million and Shiloh laughed because he wasn't expecting it. And what did they say the next day? Oh, we thinking of getting Malik Willis for $40 million. I said, oh, so they hanging on Shador every word. I see, huh? They hanging on his every word. What did he say about the backdoor? This is why I said just talk. Yeah, I want him to go to therapy and talk, but this probably going to help too. But he needs to understand that they hanging on to his every word. And I'm not saying you need to censor yourself. I'm saying you know something. Coach Prime need to come to tell it. I don't care about what's going on in Colorado because that's not new. This right here, see, Colorado not trying to be illegal with theirs. They just shiesty. There's a difference between shiesty legally and criminal. They not criminal with it. Now, if they get Juju and put him in some type of situation health-wise, then I'm going to say that, yeah. But we ain't make it there. But the Browns, the Falcons, the Ravens, that's 3. The Giants, that's 4. It said they really think we are going away. I think they realize we not. It said, nope, everybody's watching. Facts. They can try us if they want to. Facts, baby. I posted this song earlier today about Shador. I posted just a nice video of him before I knew anything about this post or whatever. Because after seeing him the way he was, I'm like, look, the devil clearly trying it, but God don't play about Shador. Whether he wearing the 2 or the 12. I support him going to the 2 because they took that away from him. They should. I told y'all, they need to hang that 2 up in his locker and he need to wear it with pride, but he need to keep his head on the swivel to make sure that they not pushing him up to play so they can take him down with a season injury to move him out the way like the Falcons did Michael Penix Jr. I'm going to always look for that all season, whether y'all do or not, because it's obviously a tactic. It's obviously a tactic, just like women are a tactic. White women. Same thing. Move you out the way. It said those NFL owners talk. So when Kevin have a losing season in ATL, they will fire him. You might be right. Because I was like, he got to go in here and win. I mean, he absolutely has to win. Like, it's not even a question. And as far as I'm concerned, they expect Tyler Shaw to be the guy. Because he wasn't it last year. Jackson Dart wasn't it last year. And they still trying to prove that those 2 should have been drafted ahead of Shador. None of them were even players of the week. Did they put that Shador was player of the week in the video? Hopefully they did. I don't know. It said we 20+ million fans not going nowhere. We just add new people. It said there are too many professional players speaking out along with his fans about how they treated Shador. Right. It said, I still say those aren't the people that robbed Shador that's in jail. They were paid off. And you know what? If there's some truth to that, because a lot of people agree with you, it's going to come out. It's going to come out. They were quick to tell you that they were quick to dismiss it, to say, oh, a lot of other celebs got fired, got robbed, like Pat Mahomes. I'm like, yeah, not at 6 o'clock while they was in town. He got robbed when he was out of town. And they took memorabilia, Shador shit is all still over there. As you can see, they didn't take none of that. They cleaned out his nightstands instead. And they not just listening on to Shador every word. They heard Quinshon Judkins when he was being interviewed on somebody's podcast, and he talked about what Shador had to endure. Not a day or two later, they came out. See, they don't. They came out and said, yeah, I think we're going to have to get another running back because Quinshon Judkins got hurt. Quinshon Judkins followed it up by saying, count me out. I don't mind being counted out. They listening to these podcasts. They listening to understand what the narrative is so they can know how to respond to kind of try to counteract it. This ain't going to help them counteract the goddamn thing. I said Stefanski was a legal liability, and clearly he was. He was fired. The owner is a legal liability because he allows Stefanski to do all of this shit, just like Richie Incognito did it to Jonathan Martin. Just like Bounty Gate. That was not those players' ideas. The Dirt Divers, you notice they didn't bring them back. 68, they didn't bring them back, but they brought back Tevin Jenkins and KT Leviston. Let's see why. This is why I say when Coach Prime preaches about consistency, you can't even buy into none of this shit till you get to week 17. Until you can look back and see what they have done. You could be happy for Shador every damn opportunity he gets. But you also want to look for the play if they're going to try to get him injured to move him out the way because they don't want him to play 10 games. They don't want him or Deshaun or nobody else that they get to play 10 games. This will be the first year that they didn't rotate 4 goddamn quarterbacks. Who going to be on the practice squad? Dylan? They say he leaving. So who going to be the practice squad quarterback? So I need a quarterback. Because I could put Dylan over there, but then how would that make the Browns look? So they have to move off of him. And you see it ain't happened yet. Maybe he draft capital. Then again, we might wake up and Shador might be in Minnesota. And AI might be on its way to being correct. That Shador will be an MVP and win a Super Bowl. I think it was 2028. That's built off of stats. So even AI has computed enough stats to know that Shador is the guy. And suddenly the Browns want to talk about Shador. You better ask why. Instead of, oh, they believe in him. Bullshit, they ain't say that. And that's the social media team. It ain't hard to say Shador Sanders is our QB1. It's giving placating. It's giving fake. It's giving marketing. I need to sell tickets. Do I want him to switch to his 2? Yes. Because they played keep away with it last year. God can take a mess and turn it into a message, and why they think they using Shador, they the ones being used. It says Shador will be QB1 and he will be taking Cleveland to the playoffs. Yeah, he took them to the playoff hunt last year and they decided to self-eliminate. It said those sports watched and saw what the NFL and Kevin did to 12, which was so wrong. Yeah, that's why basketball players talking about it. Because that's not how that is done. That the guy TJ Hausman, I think, was saying, if you don't think he's the guy, then just move him out the way. But to mistreat him like you are trying to break his confidence, legal liability. Legal liability. And you fired him. So it proves that he was full of shit. And firing him was supposed to be the end of it for them. I even asked, is Stefanski being fired enough? No. Who's the culprit? He's still over there. Let's see if they try to make Andrew Berry look like the culprit. How many times did Andrew Berry go up to Shador to hug him? Now you know why. Because it ain't me. It ain't me. It ain't me. That's what that was. And then he went right back to his job. So I want Shador to go into Cleveland with his head held high. Thank God he know how to get away from people trying to file on him because he don't need that this year. And yeah, you keep watching them back doors and them side doors too. Ain't no friends at the job. Ain't no friends at the job. That ain't summer camp. You got to fill people out for a long time to see who's who, because anybody can be used because they made everybody thirsty with these string along contracts. And oh, we got to get another running back because Quinshon, he injured. Quinshon ain't injured. He good. They said he was gonna be good. Then what about why you got to get another running back? What was wrong with the 2, the 3, and the 4? The whole running back room was stacked. but I got to go get somebody else that you can control. So no, Stefanski being fired was not enough. That was the beginning. Who next? And since I found out that Andrew Berry was over there first, it'll be interesting to see who next. They said now they're also putting out the narrative that Shador is going back to 2. I'm hearing that too. It said Shador sabotage avalanche is happening. Straight facts, bro. Straight facts. Straight facts. That's why I'm like, did I call it? Because, baby, I'm glad I found my chicken sound. And this is about football. It's some more chickens. It's some different kind of chickens out there. You see the picture? It's the white chicken. It's the brown chicken. It's the mixed looking chicken. It's a white chicken back in the back. So it's a lot of chickens. I chose this picture on purpose. It's a lot of chickens. This is a lot of chickens. I just want you to know, and it's all different kind of chickens. So this is just the beginning. I'm proud. Proud, bro, because I guess because I give a damn, and that's just what it is. I gave a damn about what was happening. I just said it the other day. I said the shit was critical, and it was right. And I know the guys talking from a perspective of confidence, or they was trying to do more than break his confidence. They were trying to break him as a human being. I don't appreciate that. This ain't no goddamn slave plantation. You now already robbed him and picked his pockets. That wasn't enough. The Browns better run Shador his money. That's all I would say. Because 3 days ago, I said they need to stop pretending they don't know who the hell Shador is. And here it is. They putting out posts showing, oh, we know exactly who Shador is. I'm like, cool. What's next? My wish is coming true. I already had 2 for 2. Then I got 2 more. Shit, I need to go over here and play the lottery. I'm like, go play the lottery next. So, and while y'all here, do me a favor, please hit the like button.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hype me up. Hype me up.
Yeah, I feel a sense of accomplishment, bro. Because what happened to Shador? It was critical. It was abuse. It was allowed, seemingly encouraged, supported, and it was dehumanizing, and it was unnecessary. See, that's the thing, right? When people abuse you and it's totally unnecessary, meaning it was unprovoked, I didn't do nothing. They didn't have to keep Shador just because he didn't want to go to Philly behind Lamar, or he didn't want to go to, Philly behind Jalen, or he didn't want to go to Baltimore behind Lamar. There was nothing about his decision to go to a team that pre-draft with him extensively, who was going to draft him at number 2, on 4-4, was at Colorado trying to decide if I'm going to get Shador or Shador and Travis. There was nothing that he did that warranted their demonic behavior. It was evil. They tried to upend him because he knows the truth. And that's likely why his house was robbed. And just like we saw a cover up with Stefanski, a cover up about Stefanski, we probably are seeing a cover up about the robbery, taking the beanie cap and taking his bags that he always took with him to work. In one, they say you got a dozen in one hand and half a dozen in another one, or something like that. On one hand, it's like they trying to tell you, and in another hand, they trying to hide at the same time. You can't do both. Nobody else had motive, opportunity, the resources, the finances to pull together cash for 4 people, where each of them could have thousands in cash. And they are very likely the people that told the police where to find them. And if that is the case, the shit gonna get ugly. And if that's not them, it's gonna get bad. Because people are not convinced that they are them. It's a lot of cover-ups happening. So they can keep that shit. That's all I'm gonna say. Because I need to see some consistency. I'm not even gonna put a pin in this. Because I know they're legal liability, and they do too. They thought Stefanski gone was enough. You see people still talking. See, that's why corporations get rid of people, so you can stop talking about it. so we can move on from it. Ain't nobody moving a goddamn inch. So Shedeur should know he's loved by fans and former players speaking out on his behalf, telling the truth. That's love. Whether they ever see him in person or not. We don't know Shedeur, but we know what they did was wrong, and I know what they did was criminal, and I know it's being covered up, and this ain't enough. And neither was Stefanski being fired. So on up the chain, who next? Hell, they might try to fire Andrew Berry just to shield the owner, but it's too late for that. Because Andrew Berry kept running up the Shedeur. I told y'all, that's called self-preservation. When it happened at the Panthers game, I said that's self-preservation. Because they let you believe that Andrew Berry drafted him. No, Andrew Berry was using his connections to get him somewhere else, which told me a lot right there. And Andrew Berry devalued Shedeur. He gonna still have to take care of that situation. And they let you believe that Andrew Berry drafted Deshaun. It was the owner. So if it was the owner that drafted Deshaun, and the owner said he ain't want Shedeur there, it was the owner. And that's who people trying to cover up and shield for. See how long that shit happened. So it said they're definitely watching. I think so. It said, remember the real news travels fast. It sure does. It said Tyvis should get it too. Tyvis? Who is Tyvis? Let me know, Miss Pamela. It said a little too late to cover their arse. It said too much evidence out here. And what did I say? There are 10,000 YouTube pages on Shedeur Sanders. Did you hear what I said? 10,000 individual YouTube channels on Shedeur Sanders alone. The Browns have, is it 13? Maybe 13,000, something like that. So Shedeur is just as popular, if I got that number right, if not more so than the team he played for. What they did to Shedeur in Cleveland was absolutely unnecessary. It was evil. And since people want to talk about it, or because people want to gravitate towards Shedeur, they have decided to intimidate, retaliate, coerce a whole lot of people. And I told y'all, it's going to be a lot more people talking because too many people have been done dirty. See, you can't run around trying to upend the people on the team because that's a lot of people because Stefanski didn't have on a uniform. So he enlisted the help of others. And if you cross them up, they probably going to want to talk about it. I told y'all, Jerry Jeudy being on that photo with Shedeur, how many days was it before they decide they want to trade Jerry Jeudy? It wasn't even 5. I say about 3 days in, they normally know what they want to do. They are watching and hanging on with bated breath to see who gravitates towards him. And if you can't beat them, shit, we might as well join them. Or at least let the social media team do it. So we won't look like the legal liability that we are. Every time something happens, 3 days later, there's some kind of activity coming. Jerry Jeudy gonna be traded. So I guess we done gone from it ain't gonna be no competition to Shedeur and Deshaun. Now he's gonna be Deshaun at all, or is we just gonna go with Shedeur? I mean, I guess if I got to kiss butt, maybe it's just gonna be Shedeur. Deshaun, you'll be all right. You got $230 million. Because that's how they looking at it. That's why we gave you the $230 million. So you can be okay with whatever we do to you. I told you if they wanted him to play, he would have played before the season ended last year. But does that mean all is well and good, even if they come out and say, okay, Shedeur gonna be QB1? Hell no. You better look and see if they're gonna try to get him injured to get him out the way, like Stefanski tried to do. Blake Whitehart, who's no longer on the team, crushing Shedeur Sanders' finger, and so he can get Dylan back in there to do absolutely nothing. But to prove his goddamn point that we not going to stop. Okay? And who let him do that? They still over there. Cleveland is building an offensive line for Shador and going to get a top draft pick receiver Tate. Yeah, okay. Show me, because I'm from Missouri. It said, watch Arch be a flop this year, next year. Yeah, it said, oh, you talking about at UT? It said they aren't going to prosper with this mess. It's all kind of mess happening. And you see, last year, they thought he was coming out and something happened. It said, we have receipts over here, straight facts. Haslam is definitely doing everything he can behind the scenes to discredit Shador. Absolutely. He let you know how he feel. And I don't know why he thought that was okay to do that. I don't even know what made him think, other than arrogance, that he could disrespect somebody with 20 million fans, because he arrogant. He arrogant. That's what it is. It's ignorant and arrogant at the same time. Maybe that's where the word arrogant came from, because they combined ignorant with it. It said, Leonard from my hometown, New Orleans, and Jarvis Landry from Metairie, Louisiana, said that Acho is jealous that he was a bench player and only had 33 yards his career. He need to stop trying to dim 12 light. Yes, and we already talked about his colonized mind. Yeah, I didn't know they were from New Orleans, though. Thank you for letting me know that. Shout out to you, Tamika. It said 32 versus 20 million followers and counted equals facts. 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 It said 22 said the Browns are showing a video of Shador from the time he was 8 years old until now. They let everybody know Shador's QB1. Did it say that? They let everybody know that they have access to content with Shador. They've always had it. So now they want to use it. I'm going to need you to cut your grass, 22, because you got some snakes that you clearly can't see. Nowhere in that video did it say he was QB1. Nowhere. Nowhere. And no, no. When they say it, then he QB1, and they ain't going to say it because they want to move off of him. Don't be surprised being up in Minnesota somewhere. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? It said Penix posted an image of himself in the wheelchair and his medical injuries in college and the NFL to show the similarities, and ATL still drafted him. It's not the fact that ATL still drafted him. It's the fact that ATL knew his weaknesses like they know Shador's and exploited them with the way he got hit the same way he did in college. I wonder if Michael Penix Jr., and he probably realized it, and I'm pretty sure his salary was being paid by an insurance company just like Deshaun. I'm pretty sure he knows that they exploited his injuries. Did we not see them pop Shador in the back? Don't Shador have like back sorters every now and then? You think that was coincidence? They did it to Lamar. They're going to do it again. They did it to Jordan Love. They tried it with Jalen Hurts. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Niecy said the video been up for a few days. I know I didn't see it. It said, sorry, family, a little late to the party. Glad to be here tonight. Welcome, Crowley. Welcome. It's been up since like Thursday morning. Okay, so it's been out there. So, yeah, I think it was Wednesday when I posted. So, and so Shador hadn't even been on the podcast yet. It said, hey, Crowley, come on in and have a seat. Yeah, have a good time. So they ain't posted nobody else since they posted that one? That was the only one? I stand by what I said. Legal liability. Social media is undefeated. Facts. And we know social media can apply pressure. Apply pressure. Absolutely. I don't put anything past the Browns. There you go. Time will show what their true intentions are. What it or why it changed due to pressure. Right. That's facts. That's why I said you can't. You cannot. I mean, you can if you want to. You should not. You should not. You shouldn't give a damn about it. Go, okay, that's nice. Because what did Coach Prime teach? Consistency. You absolutely have to have consistency, especially when somebody abuses another person. Just think about it in your own life. If a person abuses you, how fast are you going to be? Or how simple is it for them to regain your trust? This is no different. Absolutely no different. So all I know is I found my chicken sound, and I'm glad I did. And I'm glad I did. No, I have not. I have not. Thank you. Thank you, Nikki. I'll look into it. I appreciate it. Shador AFC North Division. I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. People were asking, how many games do you think Shedeur could win? I said 11. 11-5 if there's no sabotage. And several people like that answer because you have to take that into consideration. Some people said kind of the same thing, but differently. If there's a good O-line and a better wide receiver than Jerry Jeudy, 11. Some people said 12. Yeah, I say 11 or 12, but I said 11. Just if there's no sabotage, and that's a big if, because they have plans for somebody else. See, that's the thing what people don't understand. And I don't know how long it's going to take people, and it's not my job to convince them. I don't know how long it's going to take people to realize that they want to get the man a kid. I've been saying that. And we finally starting to hear that they're making plans because I've said it all along. Tom Telesco being over there to hire Monken. Now, why it is the narrative that Monken might not make it to the new stadium, now that's surprising. Now that's surprising because Monken recruited Arch Manning, so maybe that's his job. Maybe his job is to bring the Manning kid in and get him set up and move on. I don't know, because I'm shocked that they're saying that, right? I wouldn't be surprised if Shedeur gets traded just because of the pressure. And that's what the pressure is supposed to do anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised if Shedeur and Dillon or Shedeur or Dillon get traded. Remember, that's supposed to be a big, big shakeup, and the Browns are not counting on Shedeur. That was the narrative. That was the narrative, and that Deshaun could start. But let's see how that plays out. And that came from a national insider. That didn't come from a local person. That hadn't changed. That's why I said just calm down. Go ahead and hit the like button, retweet, refollow the post, but you need to see some consistency first to understand these people's intentions. Because right now you do not. There's nothing on that post that says this is our starter. In fact, they got some of the facts wrong. So they put it out there for a reason. I was shocked. Y'all say it's been out there since Thursday. I'm shocked that nobody else's has popped up. It's a little too late for damage control by the Browns. That's what we saying. I think it is good, but I agree. We have to continue to watch. Absolutely, D. Will. Instead, but Prime just said that Shedeur Sanders may change his number, his 12 back to 2 at Cleveland. I think Prime and Shedeur Sanders have been assured all along. Assured something. I don't know. I just think that the other guy who had it is gone. And the Browns, it's going to be tough for them to not give it to him and give it to somebody else, because it was said that the other guy, Carter, was drafted before Shedeur came in or signed his contract before Shedeur, or he arrived at the facility before Shedeur. So that's why he got the 2. I noticed the dude was on injury reserve the entire time. So it's like they were playing keep away with the 2. And now that dude is gone. Like everybody else that's moved out that was used, right? That's their MO. And it's available. So why shouldn't he get it? You know what I'm saying? And people talk about, somebody said they didn't think he would get it because people already bought the 12. I'm like, I wouldn't let that stop me. Shedeur deserves to have the number 2. He actually deserves to be featured by the Browns with them highlighting him as their QB1. He deserves all of it, right? But you don't understand the Browns' intentions, and you've seen enough bad that you need to look for the good consistently before you buy into the bullshit. It's too soon to determine that it ain't bullshit. I'm sorry. It's coming off the heels of everybody talking about their ass, including myself and former NFL players, etc. Because I know my video was out there Wednesday, and I said they need to stop playing, pretending like they don't know who Shedeur is, and now they're telling us they know. So I feel a sense of accomplishment. I'm just gonna say it. I do. Because I call their ass out. I don't care. I don't care. People want to think you have to have 1 million followers. No, it's about being impactful. And to me, that was impactful. Because they were pretending. And notice the media never talked about it. Right? And the media even knew what was going on wasn't right, but they didn't care. They just want to have access to the agenda. They just want to have access to the facility. And so where did Jason Lloyd do that? Has he been around since, he got called out. You see what happens when you use your voice? It works. It works. It just works. So that's what it is. Hey, how you doing, Blind Beauty? Welcome. It said, yeah, deploy ICE because he wants $300 billion and can't get it. Kendrick Perkins called out the Browns' rookie quarterback star Shedeur Sanders, the most powerful black man in 2009 when Obama took office. Oh, since 2009. Yeah, I remember when he said that. Don't give up. Keep saying it. Black leagues. Facts. I was giving up, though. I was giving up because I don't, it's going to take these new young cats to, it's gonna take these young cats to do it, because the ones in college that's already looking forward to it, I don't know why. I don't know why they don't do it, but I'm not gonna give up. Do what I've been doing, or you can start your own league. I said it on the Cams, RG3, and a host of other people, right? I DM the Sanders, all of them. I don't think Coach Prime, but Bucky, Shedeur, Shiloh, and now I'm looking at Fanatics do exactly what I said they should do. I'm like, Lord, have mercy. And I know we talked about doing it. Listen here, we don't play. And from what I can see, I don't think they listen to everybody. I don't think they listen to everybody. So when I saw Fanatics doing it, I just put my head down. I'm like, this is exactly what I was telling all of these people to do they stuff. But hey, everybody don't have that ambition like Wale said. It's just what it is. So they say don't give up. Don't give up. It said Dr. Umar said Shedeur Sanders' popularity is similar to that of former President Barack Obama. Yeah, he's facts. He's facts. And that's what Perkins was trying to say. That's what he was trying to say. Happy Sunday, Blind Beauty. That's what he was trying to say. Let's see what's after the draft. No good GM tells what they have or not to make other teams be willing to trade. It said, if after the trade, Cleveland don't show 12 love, I will know something. Okay. All right. Fair enough. 30 some odd days, right? That 12 jersey is going to be worth a lot of money one day. And that's what I think too. That's what I think too. That's why I say, go ahead on and switch to the 2. The 12, has its purpose. And somebody, I have a picture. I'm going to have to share it later. They have all the Shedeur's jersey. They even have the jersey that was mixed with the Cleveland Browns colors and the Colorado colors. Have y'all seen that one? I saw that one. I don't know if it's the same person, but I saw a few of those running around because a lot of people still wear Shedeur's Colorado jersey. I want the 2. I'm gonna just let y'all know. I want him to wear the 2, right? And if they let him have it, okay, just keep going. Let's just look for some consistency because that ain't enough. You're gonna need to hear them say outside their mouth, he is QB1, and they not saying it knowing he gonna end up at a hospital like Michael Penix Jr. Shout out to Michael Penix Jr. So that he's not available because they don't want him to play more than 10 games. Or is it 11? What is it? How many games in the regular season? 17 to 18, whatever half of that is. They don't want him to play half plus 1. They don't want that. That's why he played 7 last year. Shady has definitely sold out as well. Yeah, it really surprised me. I was like, wow. He's endorsing Shedeur competing for QB1, and that's disgusting. Even though Shedeur won that position in OTAs during the regular season. Facts. And he won it in training camp, Priscilla. I don't listen to nobody advocating for no competition because for what? Why are we competing? Why? Who finished the season? Who played the most games last year? Who got them to the playoff hunt? Okay, then that's the starter. That's the starter. See, the dilemma is, well, we want to get this other guy, so we can't let Shedeur ball out. Then trade Shedeur so he can go somewhere else to ball out. And all they're going to do is put him behind somebody else. Why? Because it says it on the NFL page. Who do you think had him ranked in tier 6 with Justin Fields, who's a backup in Kansas City now? Which I'm happy with that. He needs to heal, clearly. The NFL. They want him to be a backup. They don't want him to be a star because he going to outshine who? Okay. That's their plan, y'all. That's been their plan. They knew when the Manning kid was coming out, or so they thought, because things changed. And they didn't care that he wasn't like that. They was trying to rig the Heisman to give it to him, and Lenore Sellers got knocked out. And that's what took him out the top. I saw a list when they were talking about the class of 2027 quarterbacks about to be historic. They had Arch Manning name at the top. I'm looking at the alphabetized at the beginning of the first initial of the last name. Why they had Trinidad Shambliss, who's a C, mixed in there in the middle, almost to the last. They trying to pretend they don't see that kid. He better be careful. Because it was a concussion that knocked Lenore Sellers out. They gonna come for Trinidad too. They think that's a tactic also. It's the same. These people all know each other. They working together. Look at how Nick Saban is leading the charge to destroy NIL. How they had all these what to do with NIL meetings and didn't include no students. None of the athletes from any of the goddamn sports. Why the hell it is Nick Saban is in charge when we talking about football? We talking about golf. Oh, we only want to attack football NIL. Is the problem with NIL or football NIL? You see? It's about who they don't want to get paid. Nick Saban shouldn't be saying shit because did he retire? So what you got to do with it? And if we talking about college NIL, shouldn't that be all sports represented with all student athletes to give their opinion on how it has helped their lives? Why are we only attacking NIL for football? Why are people saying there need to be rules to NIL for football? There already are rules. And they're doing exactly what I said they were going to do with that commission. They got these players deals. They said, is it over 23,000 deals backed up that haven't been approved yet? I knew they was going to do that shit with that little raggedy commission, but that's not even enough. They just want to wipe it out. It's racist. That's all it is. That's all it ever is. Yeah, bye, Acho. Yeah, they getting on him. I'm happy to see that too. Brown starting their Shador Standards marketing to keep the engagement and clicks going. Well, there you go, coach. Welcome, coach. It said they're saying anything and everything to get fans in them seats. I know that's right. And they can play with them fans if they want to. But remember what happened when Dylan took the field. They can get rid of Dylan. Put somebody out there that ain't Shador. And I heard all the fans, they really care for Deshaun because I guess the situation from the Texans, but I don't think that's fair because nobody talking about Justin Tucker. Just know that he can get it too. I'm like, they were shocked that fans stayed away. And they tried to say, well, I thought that Shador Sanders fans would bring the people to the stadium. I'm like, is that why you decided to play him? I'm like, you said it was an injury. Which one was it? Which one was it? That's why I said you can't trust them. Greed. That's all it is. Yep. 4 black roommates from North Carolina University, women, became judges. Yep. It said, hey, Starks, how you doing? It said they surrounded Shador with backups and blamed him for bad blocking and no run game. Yeah. And they got new linemen. They are all black. One of them can't run block. The other one can't pass block. The other two never been starters. KT Levinson was a third string. They got him playing out of position. Still got him on the depth chart as a right tackle, but he a right guard. Replace Wyatt Teller with a backup who was drafted in the 5th round a couple of years ago with the Chicago Bears. Consistency. Just wait. Time will tell. It ain't right now. It ain't right now. It ain't right now. It said Baker put Kevin and the Browns on blast. Right. And as you can see, and by Kirk for sure. And as you can see, they sent Atlanta's OC who took down Michael Penix Jr. over there to Tampa. So Baker Mayfield gonna have to keep his head on swivel. They also have another ad with Shador, starting out with Shador. It said, imagine if our risks weren't up. It said, Myles Garrett, imagine if he didn't make history. Harold Fannin Jr., Quishawn Junkins. What's that, Destiny? Oh, is that the ad you telling us about? Is that the ad? Shador just got to ball out next season. Shador balled out last year, coach. And he got to do more than that. He for them, he don't need to do any more than that. But they feel like he has to prove himself every year. And that's incorrect. In fact, that's one of the tenets of racial discrimination. Constantly making the people you discriminate against prove themselves so you don't reward them with what they earned. They can play that game if they want to. Although it's Haslam's total responsibility to oversee the team, he gave 100% of control to Kevin, who blatantly disrespected, dishonored, discriminated, and suppressed Shador. It said no self-control to stop the hate. Right. But the owner's responsible, right? Why? Because the owner said, even after Kevin Stefanski did all of that, He was optimistic he was going to get another job in the NFL. It did in 2 weeks, and people pointed that out. That was fast. That's why the survey got leaked, because people wanted to come out. So keep telling the truth. Keep telling the truth. No, the owner is definitely responsible. Matter of fact, we gonna see if that's why Stefanski was hired. Because like Andrew Berry told, nobody else wanted to hire him. And the owner said, what? Stefanski has done good work for us. When was this? When was this? So it's looking like the owner went and got somebody who they thought was a fixer. We're going to see. And people have asked. So because Stefanski's family is in tight with the media, was he going to tell all? Because he knew where the bodies are buried. And that's why they got him the next job, making 5 times more than he made before. Let's see what happens. Because they definitely saying Michael Penix Jr. is the starter, and Stefanski seems to be going against that. I'm like, he must be just like a total blockhead to not see what is happening. Shedeur Brand is too legendary now. All of a sudden, the NFL wants to change his number to 2. Needs to say it's a business move. It sure could be. Win, place, a show. That's it right there. They have to keep the pressure on Stefanski. It said, Coach, why do you keep repeating that? Shedeur knows what he has to do. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Absolutely. Yeah, you got to cut your grass if you don't see what's happening. Coach talking about, don't forget the Falcons' DC son was the kid that pranked Shedeur during the draft. That's false. It was not the Falcons, the defensive coordinator's son. It was the supposedly boyfriend of the daughter of the New York Giants, the GM, Joe Schoen. That was supposed to be his daughter's boyfriend, which is why she liked the post. You see how they lied? And you see, that's what I mean. Do you think, why you don't want to just say, why take the Giants? And you see how the team got upended. You see how they fired, first they fired the scouts. Right after the draft, they fired the scouts. I guess that was supposed to say they gave us the wrong information about Shedeur. Then they fired Daboll. Don't forget, Miss Pilar called out Daboll online. Put out the tapes, or you lying, like that, right? Put out the tapes, and that they went silent. And I read it. It said it. There was a caption, headline in several outlets that said the Giants are backing off of what they said about Shedeur. Then he gets fired. Then when they brought Harbaugh over there, Harbaugh had a condition that he gets a new GM. Then the part owner comes out in the Epstein files. No other team is experiencing that type of karma, if you will. I don't even know if it's karma. Then we got the owner of the Browns. His $600 million was snatched away because it belongs to the people. Then you got long-term season ticket holders not wanting to come back. You got a petition put out by long-term Browns fans. And then there's 20 million people rolling with Shedeur. It's called pressure. That's what it is. It's called pressure. I don't trust the NFL medical doctors and personnel. I don't need. There's too many injuries in Cleveland. Somebody lying. Somebody lying, because it's way too many injuries in Cleveland. I'm like, I've never seen anything like that. Yep, bye, Judy. That's what I say. Jerry Judy may have told Shedeur something too. And you know what? That's what I think they were afraid of, Amber. When they put out that picture of them working out, now I don't know when the workout happened. I don't know if it was happening the day it was posted, but the point is, less than 5 days later, because I checked. I went back and looked. I said, damn, that was fast. Yep, Jerry Judy going to be traded. Probably before they get to the summer. I'm like, well, damn, why don't you just trade him now? Then they suddenly found $17 million from insurance that gave them about $25 million, because it was $8 million plus another 15 to 17 that made it about $23 to $25 million and cap space, and they did nothing with it. Oh, I'm sorry, they did. They got that guy from Baltimore. They didn't get LeJontay. They didn't get DeAndre. They didn't get Isaiah Likely. They got somebody who had 4 receptions all year. And Monkey used to coach there. And maybe he just grumbled and like, look, this ain't what y'all told me it was going to be. It could be. Because that's crazy that you left Baltimore and you can't bring nobody. But this here dude right here, no shout out to him. And they keep giving him a 1-year contract to string him along. So he can't have no peace and comfort in his life to know what his future gonna look like 380 days from now. And they did the same thing last year. And that seems to be a reigning theme in free agency. Yep, that's what they're doing. So, yep. I think they felt like Judy, when they saw him in that photo, they was like, oh shit. Oh shit. Let's get him out of here. Because that's what they do. That's their MO. So now he going. And remember when I told y'all we were discussing it on X and somebody who claimed to know something, and I was supposed to go back and ask him a question, but I forgot. Said, believe, and I said something like goodbye or whatever. They need to get him out of here. And the dude was like, believe me, he wants to be gone. I'm like, oh, is that why he in the photo? I was like, because everybody knew that's how you get out of Cleveland. Just go stand over there with Shador. And not to be hurtful or ugly, but that then you see less than 5 days later, they know they're going to trade him. And then Mary Cabot coming out telling the plans by saying there are no good free agents in free agency. So that means they didn't think DeAndre Hopkins was good. That means they didn't think Stephon Diggs was good, or Tyreek Hill, or Jawan Jennings, Jawan Jennings was the number one. They don't think none of them are good. So that means you're going to get somebody in the draft, right? Okay. They were supposed to go get a quarterback at number 2, but they didn't do that. So I don't trust them. We're going to have to see. Because they're not talking about Jordan Tyson, and he played with Shador. So if you're going to put out all of this media about Shador, why not just go get Jordan Tyson? Why be coy? Why not just say Shador is our starter and we're going to build around him? And since Jordan Tyson is really the number 1 player in the draft, we're going to get him so Shador and Jordan Tyson can run it up. Because we already know we're going to trade Jerry Jeudy. People saying they want to see more from Isaiah Bond because he's explosive. I didn't feel like telling them that he probably going to be the same way this year because they didn't bring him in for Shador. And if they don't bring in Jordan Tyson for Shador, they don't bring in Jordan Tyson or Cornell Tate or whoever. They didn't even want to bring in DeAndre Hopkins, and he played with Deshaun. Don't be surprised Shador get traded. They didn't want to bring in Tyson or DeAndre Hopkins. And it's supposed to be Shador and Deshaun, right? Well, why not bring in their receivers? I mean, it kind of speaks to what Rizzo was saying. The Browns aren't counting on Shador this year. Deshaun could start. That was Adam Schefter. That's what it's giving. That's what it's giving. So, yeah, bye, Judy. They said, oh, I'm glad the pinky stomper gone. Yeah, he gone. I don't know where he went, but he gone. I said I was going to go back and look at everybody that got released to see where they ended up. Well, we know that, what's his name? Devin Bush ended up in Chicago. Now we know Wyatt Teller is a starter with the Houston Texans. We know that. Yeah. Anybody else? Batonio don't know about him. Cam Robinson, haven't heard his name. Jack Conklin, haven't heard his name. Ethan Posick, haven't heard his name. And we still got Jerry Jeudy. So I don't know. I don't know. If you want Shador to be the guy, you bring in his receivers so him and his receivers can start building chemistry. That's already happening on other teams. That's just what it is. I want him to have the number 2. I do as well. I want him to keep the number 2. It said that's a nice jersey. The one that's split in both teams. Yeah, that one was really nice. I like that one. This one guy, he had all the jerseys. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. He had all the jerseys. The number 12 jersey will be worth a grip in the future. I think so too. I guess it'll have the same type of effect like when you do the trading cards, when they have the rookie trading cards and over the career, it shows you, it goes up in value because if they get better or something like that. Shador will be must-see TV this upcoming season. I think so. I think anytime he step on the field, and they know they're being watched. They know they're being watched. They caught hell behind that O-line. They did. They caught hell behind the O-line. And my advice for these guys, y'all are all black for a reason. They expect you to be black to take down your brother. Screw them. Go out there and ball out and get a ring. That's what I say, or do something. Because they're going to cut you anyway. That's just what it is. If you do what they ask you to do, or if you do what they expect you to do, they're going to get rid of you anyway. And you're going to come in with a 60 PFF because nobody had an 80 this time. The last guy that came in had a 79-80. They sent him out the door with a 42. Cornelius Lucas. Has he been picked up yet? I guess I'm going to look into that. If you set yourself up with the bag with them, understand they have expectations. And if you got a 50 or a 60 now, if you do what they ask you to do, you have a 40 when you leave too. So you might as well just go on out there and protect your quarterback. I don't care who it is, if it's Shedeur or protect your quarterback. Because if not, your agent going to have an uphill battle trying to get you on another team. Because Wyatt Teller and David Bush are the only two people that I think I know of that left. And suddenly they're the only two that have been replaced and have another, place to go. Interesting. It said this upcoming season of football is going to be must-see TV for Shedeur. I say so. If you think that that's what I said, then that's what I said. It said, sit down, Nick Saban. It said all the money that you made off of black players at Bama. I know that's right. It's like because he didn't have any control, right? He don't have no control. Then that's crazy, right? That's absolutely crazy. It said Bond is starting to be shown more and more now. Yeah, I would expect to see him more. I would expect that if they get one wide receiver, Bond will be the leading guy because they're talking about trading Cedric Tillman. So if you're talking about trading Tillman, talking about trading Jerry Jeudy, that means you're going to either get Cornell Tate and Jordan Tyson, or Cornell and Jordan, or somebody else. Or you're going to get one wide receiver and you're going to have Isaiah Bond as the lead guy, and you're going to move off of Jerry and Cedric Tillman. That might be what happened. One wide receiver. I ain't going to tell you where that wide receiver going to be. Because if the Browns trying to change the rules so they can get the Manning kid, they're going to do something with those high picks. They already traded the number 2 pick last year because they didn't want a quarterback. The last time they picked a wide receiver in the first round was 2018. That's 10 years ago. So I don't know. All right, y'all. I guess we're going to get out of here. This was good. All right. So the position that What She Said Sports is taking, we going to sit back. Well, me. I'm sitting back because I need to see some consistency for the Browns. But I already know they're out here trying to change the rules for the next draft. So I don't think Shedeur might actually get traded to the Minnesota Vikings, but somewhere. Otherwise, he'll be over there and they'll be stalling so they don't win, and they probably won't let him play more than the majority of the games. But when he step on the field, he gonna be ready and he gonna ball out as best he can. Because one of the things he has learned how to do is play with an NFO line. Now, I said it. I want these guys to come on in here, and when y'all find out what it is, I want you to do the right thing and protect your quarterback. That's what I want. I've been getting my wish. I'm 2 for 2. I'm going to add that one. I'm back up to 3. My wish is that the O-line protect the quarterback despite what is being asked of them. No dirt diving, because it ain't going to work out for you because y'all all black for a reason. Let's see who they get at left tackle. I heard it might be who it is already, DeJuan Jones. That's what I heard. And he didn't even play last year. So let's see what they got up their sleeve. That's the position of What She Said Sports. We're going to see what the Browns got up their sleeve. Thank you. Y'all have a good night. All right. I'll see y'all tomorrow at 10:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll pop up during the day tomorrow, probably. If not, turn your notifications on, because breaking news. Always some breaking news. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Have a good night, everybody.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hype me up.